I want to talk about your podcast, and I want to know, Stu, what inspired Stu's Wrestling podcast?
I'd said to my nan, bless her soul, she left us in 2018, and I'd said for a while I need to do something, and I wasn't sure if it was going to be wrestling. I wasn't sure if it was going to be football. Football's my first love. I had the wrestling, believe it or not. Some people find that strange. Like, no
Yeah.
way, no way, you wrestling over football for you? Not the case. But anyway, we got I said, I need to do it. And she told me, the year before she passed, you need to do that. You'd be really good at it. And yeah, so fast forward to 2019 into the January. So it took a bit of time. Got it rocking and rolling, George.
Mhm.
And it's been incredible. It's been fantastic. Meeting people within the business, interviewing people that
Yeah.
you looked up to.
Crazy,
If you'd
isn't
have
it, when
said
you
to
do it?
me, if you said to me at 4 years old when I started watching wrestling back in 1990 that I would have spoken to these people, I would say,
Yeah.
no way, no way. It's just mad. It's just mad.
That you'd
And
be interviewing the Mountie, and you've now actually
yeah,
become friends with him as well.
yeah, it's madness. He has been absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
He's been fantastic. He's been a great support, and it's never a problem for him to come on. Let me
Mhm.
tell you, if he says he's good to do it, he's there. He's there. You can set your clock by his yock, and he has a lot going on. So he's been
Yeah.
amazing. He's one of my favourites, of course.
Nah, he's a good guy. Tell me about some of your. We just talked about, Shock, but I want to know about other memorable guests that you've had, and you thought, "Oh, that's wicked. That's really good." It might be a bit unfair to other guests that you might not just be able to think off the top of your head,
Mm-hmm.
but just a few that that you often talk to other people about. But like, yeah, he was really good.
We're fast approaching 200 episodes, so yeah, there have been many. Off the top of my head, though, um, I've got to say, do you know who's brilliant and just a laugh a minute? Dwayne Gilberg. Gilberg was just fun from start to finish. He just made it fun and easy. Just like he was that good. He made it easy for me
Yeah,
as an interviewer because long answers, which is what we're after a lot of the time, isn't it?
yeah, we
Um,
love them. We
when
do
when
love them.
when a guest can carry it, and they can talk at length and they give a lot of
Sometimes you
depth to their
forget that you're
answers and
going to
stuff.
ask the next question because it's like you're
Yeah,
listening. You're like, "Oh shit, I'm
yeah,
recording."
yeah. He was just fun. Like he just comes on and lovely man. I'd love to get him back on actually because when
Yeah.
you have these people on for 40 minutes, 50 minutes, 60, 70, 80, maybe an hour and a half if it goes that long.
Mm.
And there's still stuff you want to ask because
Oh,
the
yeah.
body of work these people have had and the
Yeah.
length of years they've been doing it. There's just so much you can ask, isn't there?
Yeah, no, no, definitely, mate. Like, no, I actually can relate to that. Sometimes, like, "Oh, shit, should have asked that, or I didn't have enough time to ask that, and then maybe get them
Yeah.
on. I mean, unfortunately, you had Del Wilkes on, and that might be one of his last
Yes.
interviews. The Patriot.
Nah.
The fans might
Mm-hmm.
not know his real name, but a very iconic look that he had,
Mm-hmm.
and you had the pleasure of interviewing him.
It was mad when we lost Dal, I tell you. And he was one of the guests that kept in touch after we were messaging
Oh, nice.
on Messenger for a long time. And
Yeah,
he'd got over some health stuff prior to me having him on. Because we were meant to do it before the August when I recorded in 2020. And so he'd
yeah.
had stuff going on before that, but he kept to his word. He said, "I will be on. Just let me get sorted and stuff like that." And he was brilliant. He was lovely. What a lovely man. And just so sad that we lost him. And when he came into WWE, as much as I am Bret Hart, personified, he's my favorite of all time. When he was taking Bret on in that short program they had, which could have gone longer, I felt. I actually was on the side of the Patriot in that feud. I
Fuck
I
off,
really,
you
I
traitor.
really, I really got behind. I really got behind
Um,
him. It was like I love this, and obviously he was with Buff Bagwell, wasn't he? Stars and
yeah.
Stripes years before and stuff like that. But yeah,
Yeah,
he
such a
was
wicked
just.
look. But him and Brett had some underrated matches, by the way.
They could have gone. It could have gone longer. I know. Obviously, then he had to go into the program with Taker, and then he
Yeah,
obviously had Sean, as we know.
yeah.
It was a very short window they had there. It was that Canada versus America thing, wasn't it? That Brett's promos as a heel were actually some of the best promos he ever did when he was,
They
you know,
absolutely were. They're brilliant.
running down America. That was his best stuff. And people say he couldn't do the mic side, but he could in the right, in the right situation. He could do the mic, Brett. No question.
No, he's really good. Is there any advice for anyone that's looking into podcasting, what would you say, mate?
Don't overthink it. That's the first thing I'm going to say because I was guilty of that early on,
Hmm.
worrying, panicking, sweating before going on lives. I'll be honest, I'd be sweating,
Yeah,
panicking. Just don't overthink things when you come on there. I wouldn't. Some depends how you want to do it. Actually, don't write pages and pages and stuff if you're not into that. If that's for you, if you want to write pages and pages of stuff, in your prep, fair enough. But I think bullet points work well. Words, maybe get a highlighter, if you're just trying to do it quickly and stuff like that, they're tips. But I know people that write notes and write pages and pages. If that works for you, fine. In my opinion, bullet points are quite a good thing when you're prepping for your guests. Keep going, keep producing content. Don't worry about oversharing. I share all the time. I mass post. It's the only way you're going to get it out there.
it's true. No,
Um,
I do
don't
agree.
don't worry about what other people think as well.
Yeah,
That could be your Achilles heel. Focus on you. Focus on what you're doing. Be yourself. Be yourself because that comes through on the camera. Because people say about me. They say you're you when you're on the camera. People that know me personally,
yeah.
who aren't really into wrestling, George, but they gravitate to my interviews instead. They said you're really good. So
Yeah.
yeah,
You've got
be
such a unique energy
yourself.
though that like it's so hard to replicate.
Thank you.
It's who you are,
Yeah,
like passionate.
it comes through on the camera, doesn't it? So yeah, just do you. Don't put an act on. Yeah, there's just so much I could tell you, and yeah, get on all podcast audio apps as well. I see a lot of people just doing like YouTube and stuff. I've been mentoring a couple of lads who are a bit younger, and he's not on Spotify and Apple. I said, get the content on Spotify and
Yeah,
Apple. You
yeah.
use Buzzsprout, use Spreaker, use Megaphone, whatever you're going to use. Get it everywhere. Don't just settle for video form. Get yourself out everywhere. Majority of people do anyway. They're across all platforms, aren't they? But
Mm.
yeah, that's just a little bit of advice.
No, no, mate. Obviously, someone who knows the game, who knows what podcasting a good one is, and has carried it on for such a long time now. And your CV, speaks for itself. And if the fans want to see who you've had on and who you're going to have on for the rest of the year, where can they find Stu's Wrestling Podcast on social
So
media?
yeah, Stu's Wrestling Podcast on X, Stewie P1, you'll find me out as well. But I think if you put Stu's Wrestling Podcast in, you should get it.
Mhm.
Insta, same again. TikTok's been good. TikTok's been good for the shorts and the clips. Because you just do one share and then you get the numbers. Obviously, Facebook, it's hard. It's hard getting traction. It's hard getting views with like
Facebook is
single
difficult, yeah.
sharing. But TikTok works really well if you get your hashtags right. You put like quite a hard hitting bit of text at the start and stuff explaining.
Mhm.
So yeah, TikTok for single sharing is fantastic. I think because you get a lot of traction there. So yeah, just Stu's Wrestling Podcast, Spotify, Apple, all the podcast apps. It's available. It's ready available. Fast approaching 200 episodes. There's loads of stuff, and
Mhm.
I've had a lot of UK-based people over the years coming through, young talent. That's what it's about as well. You go for your people from yesteryear, current people, top end people, but it's also about grassroots wrestlers trying to make a name for himself. You've had a lot of the grassroots people on your show. You've been fantastic
And you
with
never
the
know where they're going to end
UK
up
scene.
in a few years.
Exactly,
TV.
exactly. You do that very well.
Mm.
That's amazing that you showcase the talent we've got coming through here because the UK scene's been amazing for many many years, hasn't it? Long time.
Yeah.
And we're producing some fantastic talent, and hopefully we're gonna see him, in WWE, AEW, TNA, ROH, you name it. Hopefully these young talents can get over there and do what they do.
I think the majority of them will, mate. America's always got an eye on our talent and what we're always producing. Stu, thank you for coming on, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure
No
having you
problem.
on, not just as a
Thank
guest,
you.
but as a friend for us to do this.
Absolutely.
It's been an absolute blast. I'll give you a message after this interview, but thank you coming on. If the fans can like this video, subscribe to this channel, give Stu a follow on his social media. They'll be in the description below, the handles along with mine. Give me a follow, see what I've got lined up for the next few months. But for now, everyone. Have a good weekend. You all probably noticed I didn't mention Arsenal because we've been shit lately. That's why I talked about Evan. Allow me to get
And
my
we're
mind off
we're
Arsenal for a bit.
and we're even shitter, but hopefully pastures new now.
Exactly. Things
The
aren't too bad.
Moisaya,
The, the,
Moisey's back.
the last 40 minutes made me realise things aren't too bad. But for now, everyone,
No, no, no.
take care.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's time for What Do You Call It? Podcast.